So, good day, everyone. As the task given, I am here to share my personal knowledge and the learnings that I have acquired from our subject, which is mainly focused in the introduction of criminology. So, first and foremost, what is the term criminology? This term originated from the word crimen, which means crime or accusation, and logio or logia, which means to study. This term or the criminology simply means the study of crime, criminals, and the criminal behavior. Then let's go into the study of criminology. The study of criminology started from Europe. Then, in the latter part of the 19th century, criminology has been accepted as a field of study in the Department of Sociology in the United States. Then, the PCCR became a pioneering school that offers BS criminology. It was in the year 1950. Then there's this act that created the Board of Criminology in the Philippines. It is also known as the RA 6506. Then there is this act as well, also known as the Republic Act of 11131, which is also known as the Philippine Criminology Profession Act of 2018, that repeals the RA 6506 that has created the Board of Criminology here in the Philippines. So there are sciences or fields in the study of crime. This includes the sociological criminology, the psychological criminology, and the psychiatric criminology. There are some other subfields as well, or perspectives, in the criminology. They are known as the critical criminology, the applied criminology, the experimental criminology, and the comparative criminology. There are some important persons that has contributed in the study of criminology, and we should remember them. They are Dr. Cesar Lombroso, who is also known as the father of criminology, si Dr. Charles Goring, si Edwin Sutherland, the Dean of Criminology, the Dean of Modern Criminology, si George Wilker, si Cesar Bigoria, si Alfonso Bertillon, si W.A. Bonger, si R.H. Goddard, si David Maurer, si Peter Ranizel, John Howard, Auguste Comte, sina Franz Joseph Gall, sina Philip Fennell, and a lot more. Sobrang dami nila and I can't mention them all. Then the division of criminology are composed of the criminal etiology, sociology of law, the penology or the correction, the criminalistics or the forensic science. Then the nature of criminology are the applied science, a social science, the dynamic, and also known as the nationalistic. Then there's this question that has retained in my mind. It was asked by my professor. The question was like, why do punishment of putting a criminal in a jail or in a prison in a few years is quite pointless? Then I was actually the one who answered my teacher, and my statement was like dahil nauulit lamang ang ginawang krimen. Once na lumabas ang isang kriminal mula sa pagkakabilanggo ay imbes na magbagong buhay at gumawa ng tama, ay muli nilang inuulit at ginagawa ang krimen na kanilang kinumit noon. It's like they've been punished from their criminal act but not corrected. Kung saan ang tunay na kailangan ng isang offender or ng isang kriminal ay treatment or rehabilitation upang makapagbago at matuto na gumawa ng tama at sumunod sa batas. By the way, alam niyo ba kung ano-ano ang criminological classifications of crimes? Ito ay mga acquisitive or extinctive crimes. Ang example dito ay ang pinakamagandang example for the acquisitive crime is yung theft or robbery, kung saan meron silang ma-acquire pagka kinumit nila yung crime. Then there are also the seasonal and situational crimes, the episodic or the instant crimes, static and continuing crimes, the rational or irrational, the white collar and the blue collar crimes, the upper world and the underworld crimes, the crimes by imitation or crimes by passion, then the service crimes. Yung mga service crimes ay ginagawa lamang kung saan ang isang offender or ang isang kriminal ay inutusan itong particular na tao na to upang gawin yung krimen. There's a service, yun nga. May mapapakinabangan, pera man or kung ano man. And narito rin yung mga legal classifications of crimes. Unang-una na ay ang crimes against the national security and the law of nations. Ang example dito ay yung crime of treason. Ang particular elements niya ay, kunyari ay, the one who committed the crime is a Filipino or a resident alien here in the Philippines or here in a country. It performs the betrayal or the allegiance in the time of war. Then there's this also called as the breach of loyalty or the adherence to the enemy's country. Yung tinatawag ba na sympathy. Tapos, the other one naman is the crimes against the fundamental law of the state. Ang example dito ay arbitrary detention, which is, ang elements niya are known as committed by a public offender that has the power to arrest. Yun. Then, they have the power to. They are being detained without the warrant of arrest or the legal grounds. Wala silang legal grounds na pwedeng ipakita. Tapos, kasama din dito yung illegal detention. Ang isa pa naman ay ang crimes against the public order. Ang best example dito is rebellion, which is, ang kanyang elements ay yung taking arms or taking firearms against the government, yung overthrowing the government or the loss in the Philippine territory. Then, it deprives the Chief Congress. Then, yun naman. Then, yun namang crimes against public interest. Ang best example dito is forgery. Ang kanyang main element is that it gives treasury or banknote yung signatura, kung tawagin. Or yung erasing or substituting yung signation or signation or yung signatura nga that na siyang nagfa-falsify nga dun sa isang papel. Then isa rin sa mga legal classification yung crimes committed by an officer. Ang example dito ay yung bribery or misfeasance, yung pagkakamali ng trabaho, or yung sa malfeasance, yung pagtanggap ng pera na hindi naman talaga nagpatrol. Then yung tinatawag na nonfeasance or yung failure to perform his or her duty. Then isa rin sa mga legal classifications yung crimes against person. Isa na dito yung parricide, yung killing of your mother, your father, your child, your grandmother or your grandfather. Tapos, it is either legitimate or illegitimate, ha? Basta related to dun sa person that has been killed. Pero, lahat naman may exemption. There's this exemption sa rule na, which is the husband and wife, yung the collateral line. Then, example din dito sa crimes against person yung homicide. But, homicide and murder. Ang pagkakaiba nitong dalawa is that, ang homicide, there's no qualifying circumstance. Then, kapag murder, there's a presence of the qualifying circumstance or the aggravating circumstances. Then, may tinatawag din tayong treachery. Ito yung sa Tagalog ay pataksil na pagpatay. There's, for example, is ikaw yung victim, then ako yung killer, then I suddenly attack you with no chance for you to have the self-defense. Then, kasama din dito sa mga classification yung crimes against properties. Ang example dito ay yung robbery, yung theft, and pwede din yung arson, na kung tatawagin mo nga ay the malicious burning. Tapos, yung crime against the personal liberty and security. Ang example dito ay yung kidnapping, o kaya ay trespassing, ganyan. Or dwelling. Yung threat or coercion. Then yung crimes against chastity. Yung tinatawag na adultery, tsaka yung yung concubinage and seduction. Kapag sinabing sa adultery, sa babae yun. Pagka sa concubinage, sa lalaki yun. Then, doon sa seduction, may example ako dito. May napanood akong isang short movie about this, and ang nakita ko doon is that yung victim, hindi naman siya actually na-rape kasi pumayag din naman siya. Pero, parang napilitan siya because the offender promised him na papakasalan siya. And that is an example of seduction. Then, kasama din yung crimes against the civil status of the person. Ang example dito ay yung bigamy, yung tinatawag na multiple marriage. Kung sa Muslim, pwede ang ganoong sistema. Sa ibang aspeto, hindi. Hindi yun pinapayagan ng batas ng korte. Kasama din sa classification yung crimes against honor. Ang example dito ay yung libel, yung oral defamation. Ang pagkakaiba nun ay, kapag oral defamation, sinasabi or nanggagaling mismo sa bibig ng offender yung kanyang krimen na ginawa. Then, yung libel is, para siyang written document or pwede ring isang online post kung saan there's a malicious comments or words na nakakapanakit ng isang biktima. So ngayon naman, let's have a short introduction sa criminal investigation and sa criminalistics. Sa investigation, mayroong tinatawag na 5 cardinals. Ito yung 5 W's and 1 H. Yung 5 W's na yan are composed of the what, the who, what, where, when, and why. Tas yung H is known as how. Pero bago ang lahat, ano muna yung criminal investigation? So, magsimula tayo sa root word dito. Yung word na investigate. The word investigate comes from the Latin word, the investigar, which means to look into traces. Tsaka yung vestigium, which means footprint. Then, yung criminal investigation naman refers to the identification of evidences that needed sa criminal proceedings or sa. Then, may tinatawag tayong 3 I's or tools ng investigation. Ito ay ang information, interview or interrogation, at saka yung instrumentation. Mayroong 3 resources ang information. Ito ay ang regular sources, cultivated sources, saka yung grapevine na tinatawag. Meron ding tinatawag na general sources ang information. These are mainly persons, the things, the place. Then sa interview naman, of course, there's a witness dito na siyang tatanungin, i-interrogahin upang makakalap ng impormasyon or data na maaaring magamit sa investigasyon. Then yung instrumentation naman is pertaining to the application ng instruments or yung method ng physical science sa pagdedetect ng crimes. Then on the other hand naman, meron naman tayong tinatawag na criminalistics. Ito ay isa sa mga division ng criminology. It is also known as the forensic science. Kasi nga, it is the study of the physical evidence through a laboratory work. Kung ang criminology ay may divisions, meron rin ang criminalistics. They are known as the chemistry, the physics, and the biology. Yun yung mga tinatawag na scientific divisions. On the other hand, meron ding tinatawag na technological divisions na kung saan ay it is composed of the fingerprinting, yung forensic photography, question documentation, document examination, yung polygraphy or yung lie detection, tapos forensic medicine, then the forensic ballistics. Isa naman sa mga pinaka-importanteng ebidensya or sa pagkalap ng mga evidence sa isang investigasyon ay ang fingerprint. Because, according to science, fingerprint never changes. Sa isang kamay natin, meron tayong 5 daliri. And yung 5 daliring yan ay may magkakaibang patterns ng friction ridges. So, once na kapag kumuha ng fingerprint sa ating daliri for an investigation, asahan na natin na hindi ito magbabago. Kahit putulin pa natin ang ating daliri, once na mag-form uli ito, ganun pa rin yung pattern ng friction ridges niya. And sa criminalistics, meron din tayong tinatawag na dactylography. Dactylography is the scientific study of our fingerprints as a means of identification, of course. Then, meron pang tinatawag na dactyloscopy. Dactyloscopy. Ito naman yung tinatawag na practical identification nung una kong minention, which is the dactylography. And through dactyloscopy, we are able to compare or classify the fingerprints na needed sa isang investigation. And as I've stated earlier, merong pattern itong fingerprints na ito. And meron din itong iba't ibang uri. Meron tayong tinatawag na ulnar look, radial look, yung plain arc, tented arc, plain whorl, then the central pocket loop whorl, double loop whorl, then the accidental whorl. Actually, parang nahahati siya sa tatlo. Considered as the loop, yung arc, and the whorl. Then the fingerprinting has its doctrine as well. The terms are composed of the infallible, which means will not to fail or never make a mistake. Hindi talaga siya nagkakamali. Kasi once na makuha mo siya, wala na siyang pagbabago. Perennial, which means conclusive and permanent. Ayun nga, sabi ko kanina, wala siyang pagbabago. Permanente na siya. Hindi mo na siya pwedeng ma-fabricate or what. Then, immutable, which means unchangeable. Yun nga, katulad ng sinabi ko rin kanina, yung pattern ng ating friction ridges or ng ating fingerprints ay hindi nagbabago. Then, isa din sa mga instrumento ng criminalistics ay ang forensic photography. From its root word na photo, siya yung ginagamit na pinakang piece of evidence para magpatibay ng isang kaso. And sa naiintindihan ko, itong forensic photography ay isang tool para ma-reconstruct or ma-recreate yung isang krimen na nangyari or na-commit ng isang offender. So, hindi katulad ng ibang ebidensya na pwedeng ma-fabricate, ang photography is considered as a strong evidence kasi once na ang isang crime scene ay mapicturean mo na or na-capture mo na with a camera, pwede na siyang ipasa sa ibang device. And kahit pa kunin ang ebidensyang ito, parang meron pang reserba na makukuha from other devices kasi nga na isave na or naipasa na siya. Itong forensic photography is very valuable, especially sa mga professionals na investigator, sa mga judges, attorney, especially sa mga witnesses, tsaka sa mga biktima or sa mga defendants. Ang photography ay may iba't ibang usage, kumbaga. Ito ay ang mga identification of the files, the communication, and the microfilm files, then yung evidence, yung offender detection, court exhibits, reproduction of copying, yung personal training, crime and fire prevention, and yung public relations. Then lastly is itong correction. Correction particularly pertains to the rehabilitation or yung supervision ng offenders or ng criminals. Katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, is kailangan talaga ng treatment or ng parang disciplinary action ng isang kriminal sapagkat paano nga ba siya maitatama sa kanyang pagkakamaling nagawa kung ang mangyayari lamang ay mapaparusahan siya pero walang pagbabagong mangyayari sa kanya. Then, there's no change na mangyayari. Mauulit at mauulit pa rin ang ginagawang krimen nito. And, yun, vice versa. So, madalas sabihin ng tao na parehas lamang ang ibig sabihin ng penology and correction. And actually, they are different from each other naman. Ang penology ay yung act of putting a criminal in a jail or prison. Yan. Bakit nga ba nilalagay sa pagkakabilanggo ang isang kriminal? Of course, dahil nakakamit siya ng isang krimen or ng isang crime na siyang nagdi-disobey sa ating batas or sa ating law. So, sa madaling kasabihan, itong penology is the punishment for the commission of the crime. So, ang correction naman, the other hand, is defined as the custody for the doer of the crime. Kinoconsider din siya as an initiative action to create crime prevention strategies that will definitely alleviate the causes of the crime and the action that has been committed. Ito na yung mismong binabinggit ko simula pa kanina. Yung reformation ng isang offender. Dito sa correction, meron tayong tinatawag na contemporary forms of the punishment. Ito yung tinatawag na imprisonment, yung parole, probation, yung fine, saka yung desteryo. So, ayun nga, yung imprisonment. Understood na kapag sinabing prison, ayun, yung paghuli nga sa isang criminal and yung paglalagay nga sa kanya sa pagkakabilanggo. And this is also a way para maprotektahan ang public or ang mga mamamayan. And isa pa sa mga contemporary forms ay yung parole. Ito yung conditional release ng isang offender with the guidance para ng isang parole officer. So, even though nasa labas na siya, is parang nagsiserve pa rin siya. It is under pa rin ng kanyang service of punishment. Then yung probation naman, parang sa sa parole, there's meron parang tinatawag na guidance ng isang probation officer. Tapos, meron din tayong tinatawag na fine. Ito yung amount given for the compensation for the criminal act. Minsan, nalilito ang mga tao between sa fine and sa bail. Yung bail, iba pang meaning nun. It means as, sa Tagalog, ano nga ba to? Piyansa. Siya yung parang temporary na way para mailabas ang isang offender sa bilangguan. Pero once na ma-reach pa rin niya yung is babalik ulit siya to serve his punishment, ganun. Then lastly is yung tinatawag na destierro nga. It is the penalty of banishing a person from the place where he committed the crime, a particular crime, prohibiting him to get near and to enter that exact area 25 km perimeter for the exact